And now, insurance-minded speeches from Geico.
It's a common expression, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. However, what if the horse's mouth is filled with useful insurance tools? This is the exact case with the Geico app. Yes, the app is free and therefore a gift horse. However, look inside the app and behold, emergency roadside assistance, digital ID cards, bill pay. Get the Geico app. Look it in the mouth. Get amazing services. Thank you.
Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sgt Duran. This is Vet Talk Radio. I'm excited to announce that we have Angel Rosario from Woody Things on today. He's going to give us a little information about himself, his transition from military to business owner, and give us an update on maybe some resources and information that's helped other members that he's come across, that's helped them transition as well. Now, before we go on to our top of the hour, I want to say thank you very much to the Patriot Radio Nation Network for giving us this opportunity to host Vet Talk Radio. It's been an honor. We've increased every episode to the veterans out there, to the civilians and community members. Please share this information, push it out there. The reason I say it is because there's a lot of veterans going through hardships, and information like this from veterans and community members and organizations from across the country are getting it, and it helps. So, Vet Talk Radio is meant to help the public get information and allow veterans to have a voice in the community, share stories and experiences as well as organizations from around the country to give information on what they're doing and how they can help. So, let's jump into the top of the hour, and we'll be back with Angel Rosario from Woody Things.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Dave Bray, America's favorite patriotic rocker, and you are listening to Patriot Nation Radio Network.
Let me get a unit to FDR 112. Shots fired.
At DaveBrayUSA.com. Definitely want to check the video out. I worked with an organization called Lesman. It's a media watchdog for police officers when officers and law enforcement are being misrepresented in social media and all these different causes that are out there, sort of pushing the blame. They go out and they break laws for no reason just to prove that the cops, A, have to be police. They don't choose the laws they uphold. They uphold the laws because that's their job. Whether they're passive laws or aggressive laws, they go out and break them for the reason of to get a police response, which is just wasting taxpayer dollars, and I wish people would see that. These cops are putting themselves in harm's way on a daily basis. When your dad's a police officer and he goes to work, he straps on a gun and a badge. But these people are going into harm's way, and it's an honorable job. It's one of the hardest jobs, and it takes a special person. And I think in this day and age, we should be rallying behind them. But this song, Last Call, is about a fallen officer sort of giving his last sort of will and testament over the radio after he's been in a gunfight and he's hit and he's pinned down and he's not going to make it. And he just sort of gives his words.
Stand by for a special announcement. Emergency traffic only. 11:45. Prince William calling. 11:45. This is the final call for 11:45. Officer Ashley Gwendon. End of watch, February 27th, 2016. May you rest in peace.
Visit TrueTexasPatriotGear.com. Buy this gear to support efforts by like-minded patriots in Texas who met at the first Stand By Me for Liberty rally. The group is lending their time and efforts to help political prisoners to let them know they are not being forgotten. Visit TrueTexasPatriotGear.com and buy some gear and show your patriotic support for those who are standing for liberty.
Strange things are happening in this land that once was free. So, brother, I ask you, are you going to stand by me?
You are listening to Patriot Nation Radio Live, 347-637-3942.
Welcome back, everybody. My name is Sgt Duran. I am your host for Vet Talk Radio. On the line, I have the one and only Angel Rosario from Woody Things. Angel, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me, my brother. Appreciate the opportunity.
So now, I'm in New York. You're in Connecticut. I'm grateful that this radio station allows us to connect so far away. I'm hoping that individuals from the other side of the country and maybe around the world have the opportunity to listen to what a successful transition that I see that you've had coming out of the military. Now, I don't know if it was made easy coming out or if you took time to get there, but let's begin with, if you don't mind, giving us a background about your military career.
Absolutely, thank you. I do want to thank you for having me on board here at Vet Talk, and I want to thank the Patriot Radio Nation as well. I appreciate everything that they're doing, the messages that they're sharing online, and they've been doing it for a while. So it's really a great opportunity to share my story and hopefully give an opportunity to share some of the resources that may be helpful to some of our fellow veterans that are going through a transition. As for me, my career, I enlisted in the Marine Corps in the late 1990s. I came out of recruiting substation in the Bronx, so I'm a New York Bronx boy as well. And it was pretty good. I did pretty well in high school. I went to Walton High School for anybody that's listening that's in the local area. And after graduating high school, I went ahead and enlisted. My first tour was with the 2nd Combat Engineers down in Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. After that, I PCS'd, went to upstate New York. That was with the Marine Corps Air Station. And my MOS, my military occupational specialty, my job was administration, so I was the payroll guy. I was the guy that was, making sure everybody got paid, hopefully, the right amount. And while we were up in upstate New York, that's when 9/11 happened, September 11th, which was a very sad day for our nation. Shortly after that, we started our operations to Afghanistan, to Iraq, and that's where I first actually went. My first tour overseas was with that unit. After that, I PCS'd to Marine Corps Air Station Miramar, which is in San Diego, and those good times over there. We were with the F-18 squadron, so combat planes. And where I met you was my next duty station after that. That was in Recruiting Station, New York. I was a recruiter out of Long Island in Patchogue, New York, and I had a pretty good time out there. I professionally was one of the most challenging tours, but it was also one of the most rewarding. Hopefully, I made an impact in our community and a lot of the young men and women that I had the fortune of working with and leading throughout my time. My transition began while I was in recruiting duty. I tore my rotator cuff while we were doing some training down at the headquarters station. And at the time when I tore my rotator cuff, it was taking a couple of months to recover. And I remember shortly after I got hurt, UFC heavyweight champion Cain Velasquez, he got hurt as well. And the same injury, rotator cuff, and it took him 6 months to a year to recover. And I remember thinking, man, I don't know if I want to do all this hard work, get healed up, do all these surgeries and stuff like that, and then at the end of the day, I could still, get hurt once again and be ineffective for leading my troops and stuff like that. So that's when I decided to start looking around at what are some of my other options. Because at that point, I had already been in for over 11 years, and I thought I was going to do a whole career in the Marine Corps, do my 20 or 30 years and then retire. But then when this happened, to put a couple of different things into perspective and, made me realize that I needed to look into something else. My next step after that was I started looking into different opportunities, and I started a job in the government. So it was a Department of Defense job, and I started as an intern. And something I want to point out to my fellow veterans that are in here, that are listening, if you see a position, if you apply for a federal job, and you may notice that they may have an internship position, don't be too prideful to think, oh, man, this is something, I don't want to start as an intern. I just did, 8, 10, 12, 15, 20 years, and I don't want to start over at the bottom. There are a lot of great benefits to start in the whether it be in civilian world, private industry, or in public industry as an intern. The internship program that I was able to, interview for and get qualified for, and it got accepted into, it was a paid internship, and it was maybe a little less than half of my salary while I was in the service. So it was a little tough to get started, and you have to do what you have to do to make ends meet. You have to take other jobs, and just leverage your time wisely, and then try to do the best that you can for yourself and your family. At the time, it was myself, my wife, my 3 kids, and my oldest kid was about to go into high school. So, I have some pretty older kids that I need to make sure that I'm providing for. During the time that I was in the internship program, the way that it works for my agency is every year you earn a different promotion or another promotion as long as you are completing all of the training opportunities and your job performance is up to par. So if you're doing your job and you meet all the requirements, then you have an opportunity to get promoted. And I'm happy to say that over the last 6-7 years, I've been able to get promoted 4 or 5 times, and I'm in a pretty good position right now. They've gotten me I'm out of the internship program, and now I am in a major defense contractor, and I oversee contracts. And this is a good opportunity for a 30-something-year-old kid from the Bronx. After transitioning,
that's a beautiful story.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, now, so from my understanding, you're a family man. While you were in the service, you had an injury, so it cut your career short, and then you had to come up with another plan. You took your, I think the right word should be your tenacity to push forward, and with that, what you said, you took a hit in pay cut to get your foot in the door for something with possibility, with career building, just like in the military. And then,
absolutely,
while you were doing all this, I'm assuming you took advantage of your educational benefits, because taking a hit in half pay sounds pretty rough.
It was. You're a very smart man. Absolutely right. So, the type of person I am, I don't like tooting my own horn, and I don't like using anything as a crutch. So when I ended up joining the federal job that I have now, I understand that I came in as a veteran, and there could be the perception that the only reason someone like myself will get the job is because I was just a veteran and that's it. So part of the deciding factor for me to enroll in school immediately after I got out of the military was, it was twofold. The first fold is I wanted to make sure that I earned my BAH, so I got some basic allowance for housing, some money, the stipend that you receive to go to school. So it allows you to live somewhere, and hopefully you get it in a reasonable enough time that you could rent something and do something. I know your struggles, and when you first got out, it was very difficult to get a job or somebody to rent to you because the BAH is not a taxable. Wasn't a taxable income, and there was no way that they could verify that you had some type of income coming in. So since I had the other job, they just based it off of my job, no matter how little I was making. I was commuting. I'm in middle of Connecticut, and I was commuting to New York for school because I wanted to get my degree in business management, business administration, business management. So I ended up earning my bachelor's and my master's out of a school in New Rochelle. And there was another one in the Bronx, New York. It's called Monroe College for anybody that's local. So I went to Monroe College, earned my both degrees, and that also helped me, get promoted in this field because I had military experience, I had a college degree now, and I'm doing pretty darn well at my job. I'm trying to, learn as much as I can, which is something that you learn, like you said, tenacity. You want to make sure that you're the best of the best. Everybody that's listening to this, if you're in the military, you at some point wanted to be the best of the best, and that's how you got promoted while you were in the service. And I believe that those are some of the traits that help carry you over once you're out.
So now you are a veteran, you're going to school, and you're working internship, and you progress. But with this, you have a lot of traveling. Plus, you have a family on top of that. Where does Woody Things pop in? How did that come about? How do you find the time for it? Where did it pop in from? Because you're doing all these things, and you're doing another entrepreneurship, and it sounds like you don't have any time for yourself or even sleep.
It's you hit the nail on the head. So as I was going to school, one of our projects for graduate school, was to come up with a business plan for a profitable business. And at the time, my wife was dabbling in some. She was making wooden items on a Etsy store. Etsy is an online marketplace for handmade items. So she was making a lot of wooden decor. One thing that we do in the military, especially in the Marines, is whenever you retire, your unit, your command, your peers, your friends, they're going to give you some type of award or maybe a plaque or something like that. A lot of times it's personalized with some of the characteristics, like, it could be, if you're a sniper, it could be something with, like, some rifles or some bullet shells or whatever, something like that, rounds. So she was doing that. She was doing her own decor. And while I was in the military, in the Marine Corps, I remember that we would always have shadow boxes and stuff like that. So I figured, hey, you know what? Part of my thesis is I have to come up with a creative business plan for a business that's profitable. So I started just putting together a business plan for how to run an online woodworking workshop where you cater to a military, so that you create items, shadow boxes, and stuff like that, and that it can be profitable. Sure enough, by the end of the semester, I passed with flying colors, and I realized, man, this is actually a good plan, and if executed correctly, this could be a very good very good source of income. And sure enough, that's where we began with Woody Things, which is Woody, WOODY Things, THINGS.com, WoodyThings.com, and we have a lot of our items are geared to the military. We have bottle openers, we have chests, we have shadow boxes. Most of our stuff is personalized, and we've shipped orders out to Japan, overseas, here in New York, California, Texas, Louisiana, all over the states. We have a little map with the pins of everywhere we're selling. But we're very fortunate. That's how it began. We started this weekends and evenings. I was going to school during the daytime, going to school full time, working full time, and at the same time on the weekends, whenever you have a little break or two, I had the support network that I was able to venture out and promote the business and be able to make it successful. And right now, it's earned profits of 50% profits year after year for the last 5 years. So it's we're doing something all right.
Yeah, that sounds like it. Now you have the support of your family, which is incredible. Which I'm glad to hear that you had on your way out. You used educational benefits to supplement already an income that you had lowered because of your job, the internship coming up, but you used your know-how and what you were doing already to progress with your entrepreneurship. It's just fortunate that it just worked into that way. Now, did you have any veteran benefits that helped you with your employment or the entrepreneurship?
I did for both. So for my employment, I'm pretty sure one of the conditions or one of the deciding factors that helped me land the job was that while in the Marine Corps, I was utilizing a lot of contracting experience for contracting recruits, and whenever we were conducting policy reviews and conducting inspections, I had experience with dealing with that sort of thing, which is what this internship was about. It's about policies, procedures, contract enforcement, compliance, and that type of stuff. So the military experience.
So you found out something. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but you found something where your skills in the military had a job position. Okay.
Absolutely. Yep. And it turned out to be a great opportunity. So it wasn't part of a veteran hiring event, but the fact that I had that experience helped me out. Now, going to school, I did have a lot of the veteran programs and a lot of veteran benefits, such as Sailors and Marine Corps Opportunity. What is it called? SOCMAR. Sailors and Marine Corps Opportunity Act, or something like that. It's a program where they look at your military experience and they apply that and all the different courses that you've completed, MCIs, the Marine Corps Institute classes, any courses that you completed while in the service, and they give you college credits towards that. So they see how many of those are ACE accredited, which is the American College of Education, or American Credit Education Program. They look at all your different credits, and then you're able to start with nearly an associate's degree or something like that, which is pretty good. It cut down the time that I had to travel or to complete so that I could do earn the degree.
And what about for your entrepreneurship? Did you utilize any benefits from any program for the maybe VA or maybe nonprofits or any outside programs to help you with that?
So for my business, I did not, just because I wanted to. No reason. I just didn't want to. I didn't want to rely just on looking for the different opportunities. And there are a lot of great opportunities out there that I think people should take advantage of. But I did not personally use it. What I did, though, is as soon as I got out, one of the first things that I did, I got out on a Sunday, and on Monday, the first after that, I started looking beforehand, but the day after, so the Monday after I got out, I went to the DAV, which is the Disabled American Veterans, so DAV.org, and they're a nonprofit that helps you with opportunities for setting up, whether a lot of different opportunities. So what I did is the day after I went ahead and started my VA claim just to ensure that I start the ball rolling. And that didn't kick in for another 23 months after that. So I was diligent. I went the first day that I was eligible, the next day after getting out of the service, and it still took 23 months, so 2 years, before I started getting any of the benefits or any of the monetary compensation or anything like that. So the DAV is one resource that I used. And if I had not used them, it would have taken even longer. But they did it right. They did it right the first time. And they mentored me and guided me through the whole process, which is something that once you get out, it definitely helps out because you don't have a lot of people, a lot of different organizations that are out there to help you, to stick up for you, and to make sure that you're doing things. And once we're in the military, there's always a checklist. There's always a rigid way to do something. Once you get out, it's kind of scary because you're on your own. But this softened the blow. There's other organizations, a lot of different nonprofits. Double Dog USA Incorporated is definitely one of my favorite organizations that also help with this. And they weren't around when I got out, so that's the only reason I wasn't able to use them. But that's another great organization, and I'm, even to this point, I'm happy to report that I'm the Connecticut liaison for them, and I get to help out in any way that I can to help other veterans transition into civilian life. Right before logging on.
One of the things.
Go ahead.
One of the things that I noticed when I was looking through your biography, not only are you very open on Facebook with your accomplishments and your military background and the work that you're doing, but you also take the time to push out blogs and periodicals of your experiences. And one particular one I saw for Human Resources to give a detailed outline of what you should do, which I found very interesting.
Well,
is that something you do on a regular basis?
It is, absolutely. So what I ended up doing is you have to wear many hats when you're an entrepreneur. And part of once I first got out of the service, I had to navigate through this. I didn't have a mentor per se that was helping me through and guiding me through all these different steps. But I knew that I needed to ensure that I chronicle it and write it down and keep notes so that later on I could show somebody else if I'm in the position that I could help someone. So as I was doing that, within the next 2 or 3 years after getting out, a lot of my peers started retiring as well. They were getting out of the military. Some of the kids that I recruited were starting to get out of the service as well. So once they were getting out, they were contacting me. Hey, how do I do this? How do I do that? What are the next steps? So I started a blog, which is called Smart Biz Practices, one word, smartbizpractices.com. And on that blog, I share tips on how to start your own business, how to set up a social media marketing plan, because social media is huge right now, how to apply for government jobs, how to use your fitness reports and all the different appraisals that you received and you earned while you were in the service, and how does that translate to civilian to the civilian world. Different tips that would easily be transferable and any other veteran could use. So that's why I started that blog. Some of the other resources that I would recommend, because I'm not the only game in town, there's a lot of different places that offer assistance. I would venture, and I hope the listeners are able to bookmark this episode and try to copy some of these tips if they find them useful. But there's a lot of different resources in the state veteran pages. A lot of your states, depending on where you're located, will have disabled American veterans outreach programs or different programs where they can help you spruce up your resume to ensure that what you're writing it jives with what your record shows, and to ensure that your resumes, your cover letters, the way that you present yourself in the digital world is in the best foot forward for the organization that you're trying to enter. Other opportunities that the state offices may have are educational opportunities. So how do you look for jobs? How do you apply for a job? How do you find a mentor? How can you find an internship that could easily help you out? If you have a veteran that's looking to follow similar footsteps like me or like myself, they might want to look at the SBA, which is the Small Business Administration. I believe it's sba.gov is the webpage. But there's a lot of different resources there that they show you how to do a lot of the stuff on your own if you're a do-it-yourselfer. So it depends on what stage in life people are, and once they're getting out, how well they're already set up. Because if someone, the first thing they need to do if they're about to be homeless, the first thing they want to do is get housing. So the first thing they might want to concentrate on is finding a house, finding a place to stay. After that, then you have to worry about look for a job or something like that to make sure that you get out of the situation you're in. So there's a lot of different resources, and I was able to take advantage, like I said, of the DAV, the Disabled American Veterans. They helped me to make my VA claim. Then I used my, once I did that, I had my rating, I was able to apply for a VA loan. I purchased a house, and that helped me keep my bills down because I was paying more for rent than I was for owning a home. Now I know owning a home is not for everyone, but these are just different ways that you capitalize and use some of the benefits that you have to help you propel forward to where you want to be.
Well, Angel, I want to thank you for giving us all this information, for being such a great role model for the veteran community. Like you mentioned, there are people that have struggles like myself when I got out. It's great to hear good stories and so that the listeners to know that, it's not a charity that's being given. It's just a different form of assistance. So
absolutely,
if you can give us the information to Woody Things again and contact information so they can check out your Facebook and website as well, I'd appreciate it. And then I just want to say thank you again.
Absolutely, my brother. I appreciate that, and appreciate the outro. Like you just said a couple of seconds ago, you mentioned that we're not looking for charity. Veterans, once they get out, they want to ensure that they earn everything that they have. They've earned it simply for signing up and putting their life on the line, and for taking an oath of enlistment or a commission. So with that said, it's very important that we continue to take care of our veterans. And when you're in a position that you've quote unquote made it, if you can, the challenge that I would have for any veteran that's in that position is please mentor somebody else. Try to reach out to others. What I'll do for Vet Talk, if possible, you guys are interested, is follow my, go to smartbizpractices.com/vet talk, one word, smartbizpractices.com/vet talk. And in 1 hour from now, we'll have a different page up there with all of these different links, all the different resources that we spoke about, a lot of the different points of contact and things that you can do, some of these tips, so that any veteran that's listening to, whether it be today or it's, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, so they have somewhere to start and hopefully a nice little bit of information. I know there's an overwhelming amount of information out there, but if we give them a little more, I'd rather them have that than nothing at all. And one key point you asked me earlier, Duran, if I could offer something that would help out. Networking is crucial. Networking is what allowed me to get to where I'm at. And networking to me doesn't mean just handing out a whole bunch of business cards and collecting business cards. To me, it means building rapport. Start now if you're still in the service. Start right now. Talk to your buddies, your roommates, whatever. If you live in the barracks or if you live squad, wherever you live at. Make sure you start networking now. Exchange phone numbers. Ask your friends, hey, what does your family do? What do you do? What's this? What's that? Because you never know what connections and what links your fellow Marines, sailors, service members, whoever they are, you never know what links they may have. You may have someone that owns a nonprofit, and maybe you want to go into grants and help, small managing businesses, something like that. Or perhaps you want to be the next great archer, and somebody that owns a sporting store. Maybe that's your way into it. So network, find out, ask your peers, what do they have to offer? Not what to offer, but what kind of information you can get from them. What do they do? What they're all about? How can you help them once they're getting out? If they're getting out before you are, and utilize that. LinkedIn is another great opportunity. Go into LinkedIn. Join groups in your area of expertise. So if you're S4, which is logistics, perhaps you might want to look into the National Logistics, Association. I'm part of the National Property Management Association, NPMA. We do asset management, and that's another way that's where you see some of my articles. I write for that publication, and every so often I've been, lucky enough that they selected a couple of my articles to be published because of my expertise in asset management. So there's a lot of different organizations, and guess what? If I'm looking for a job and I'm in an association with a lot of other like-minded professionals that are in your field, it's easier for you to get into that field because you already have that opportunity. American poet Ralph Waldo Emerson once said, "The future belongs to those who prepare for it." To me, that means that if you're motivated, you have a strong desire and a willingness to learn and to earn it, there's nothing you can't achieve. So once again, I invite all of our listeners, please go to smartbizpractices.com/vet talk. These are free resources for you. It'll take me about an hour or so to put this stuff up there, but I'll have it up there. If you need to reach me directly, I have a contact page in there. You can go ahead and just hit me up on Twitter. Just send me a tweet. It's AJROS02 on Twitter, AJROS02. You can find me on LinkedIn under Angel Rosario. And you can also go to my business page, which is woodythings.com, WOODYTHINGS.com, and you'll have my contact information in there as well. Thank you, Gonzalo, for having me on the show. Thank you to the Patriot Talk Radio Network, and you guys are doing amazing work. I want to thank you for everything that you're doing. You guys are doing an amazing job for myself and for our veterans. I tune in every week.
Thank you very much, Angel, and I'll send you a link for a nonprofit organization that gives you veterans 1 free year of premium service for LinkedIn.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
My pleasure. Well, everyone, that was Angel Rosario from Woody Things. Once again, he's an inspirational veteran who had bad luck at the end of his career, but with tenacity and hard work, pushed himself to be the perfect role model, I would say, for us veterans to emulate. We're going to go to a song from Vero G, the one and only, Can't Live. That'll be about 3 minutes and 28 seconds. And right at that, we'll cut off. I just want to say, everyone, we'll be back next Wednesday at 7 p.m. with another guest. Vet Talk Radio is meant to help give veterans a voice in the community and also share their experiences, as well as having organizations from around the country share what they provide so that veterans can have the knowledge that is necessary to be successful like Angel Rosario. Thank you so much, everyone, and it was a pleasure.
Progressive presents Mindfulness with Flow.
Before you lies a beautiful meadow. In that meadow, Progressive Direct has placed its auto insurance rates alongside those of competitors. You select the lowest rate and feel a great sense of calm. A great sense of...
Compare Progressive Direct rates with competitors' rates so you can rest easy. Visit Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.